Everyone is running. That is the default setting. You finish school, you get a job, you start earning, and you run. Harder every year. More hours, more effort, more hustle. And somewhere along the way you start attaching weights to your ankles without noticing. A car loan here, a bigger apartment there, a credit card you will pay off next month, a mortgage because that is just what adults do. You do not feel the weights when you are walking. You only feel them when you try to accelerate, and most people spend their entire lives wondering why they cannot seem to get ahead, working harder than ever, earning more than they ever have, and still finishing the month in the same place. The problem is almost never the speed. It is the direction, and the weights. That is cash flow, and once you understand it, you stop running blind. So what actually is cash flow? Most people think it just means money coming in and money going out, and that is partially right. But the part nobody talks about is that not all money moves the same way. There are 3 types of cash flow, 3 completely different directions your money moves in, and most people never separate them. They look at one number, the account balance, and try to make sense of everything from there. That is why nothing makes sense. The first type is called operating cash flow. This is the money your actual work generates, your salary, your sales, whatever your effort produces every month. Take your monthly income and subtract every cost that keeps your life running. Rent, food, transport, utilities, subscriptions, everything. What is left after all of that is your operating cash flow, not your salary. That number, because your salary tells you what comes in. Your operating cash flow tells you what is actually real. Ask yourself right now, if you subtracted every monthly cost from your income, what would be left? Whatever that number is, that is your actual starting point. That is what you are really working with every month before you make a single decision. And here is something most people never think about. Operating cash flow is not just about the amount. It is about timing. You can have a great month and still end up short because a payment you were expecting arrived 4 days late, because you had to pay something up front before getting reimbursed. The number looks fine on paper. Your account is empty in reality. This is why your balance lies to you. Your balance is a photograph taken at one specific second. Your operating cash flow is the pattern underneath it. A company can have record revenues in January and be bankrupt by March, not because the business failed, because the cash from those revenues had not arrived yet when the bills came due. Profitable on paper. Out of cash in reality. That gap between when money is supposed to come and when it actually lands is one of the most dangerous places in finance. And it exists in your personal finances exactly the same way. The second type is called investing cash flow. This is the money you put toward things that will pay you back in the future. An index fund, a rental property, a side business, anything that is supposed to generate money for you without requiring your time every month. This number is almost always negative. And that is completely fine. It is supposed to be negative. Money is leaving today so that more comes back tomorrow. Picture yourself putting $400 a month into something that grows over time. Every month, that $400 leaves and you feel it. It is a real cost. Your account is smaller. But 5 years from now, that money is generating returns while you sleep, while you are at dinner, while you are on vacation. You bought future cash flow with present cash flow. That is the entire mechanism of building wealth. It is not complicated. It is just a direction most people never choose consistently because the result is invisible for a long time. The mistake people make with investing cash flow is using it to cover a bad month of operating expenses. You had a rough month. Instead of finding a way to fix the operating side, you dip into the money you had set aside for investing. The pressure disappears immediately, but now you have nothing to show for it. You did not solve the problem. You just moved it forward and gave it more time to grow. The third type is called financing cash flow. This is the weight on your ankle. Every loan repayment, every mortgage payment, every car financing installment, every credit card minimum. This is money that leaves before you decide anything. Automatically, every single month. Whether you had a good month or a bad one, whether you worked hard or got sick, whether you were careful or reckless, it just goes. And every time you take on a new debt, you are attaching a new weight. A weight that will pull a fixed piece of your income away from you every month for years. Before you spend, before you invest, before you make a single decision about where your money goes. This is why your salary is almost irrelevant on its own. You can earn $10,000 a month and have $8,000 already committed to financing cash flow before the month even starts. You have $10,000 coming in and $2,000 to actually live and build with. Meanwhile, someone earning $6,000 with almost no debt has $5,000 free every month. Who is in a better position? That question is cash flow. That is all it is. Now here is where the three types connect and where most people make the mistake that costs them years. They manage their money by looking at one number. The balance. Good balance, relax. Low balance, stress. But your balance mixes all three types together into a single number and tells you nothing about where each part is going. Picture two people. Same salary, same city, same cost of living, same account balance on January 1st. One of them has healthy operating cash flow, low financing cash flow because they kept their debt small, and puts a consistent amount into investing cash flow every month. The other has the same salary, but high financing cash flow eating into everything before the month starts, spends what is left on operating costs, and puts nothing into investing. By December, their balances might look similar. Their actual financial positions are completely different. One of them has been building something the entire year. The other has been running in place with heavier weights than they started with and does not know it yet. The salary was never the difference. Where the money went was, so here is what you actually need to track. 3 numbers every single month. Your operating cash flow, how much your work generates minus what it costs to keep your life running. Your investing cash flow, how much you are putting toward things that will pay you back. And your financing cash flow, how much is leaving automatically before you make a single decision. When those 3 numbers are clear, you know exactly where you are. You know which weight to cut first. You know which direction to push more into. You stop running blind and start running somewhere. Most people never separate those 3 their entire lives. They feel their finances instead of reading them. And you cannot fix what you cannot see. Your income is not your wealth. Your direction is. And the weights you choose to carry or cut along the way are what determine how fast you get there. Stop looking at the balance. Start reading the flow.